Hello, I'm going to read the second book in the Jasper Dragon series, which is Jasper the Dragon and the Fiery Sneeze by me, Val Blackburn, and illustrated by Sarah Lee Wills. So this book is dedicated to my two eldest daughters, Elizabeth and Imogen. Everything was quiet in Huff and Puff Valley when the silence was broken by a loud noise. Achoo! On the other side of town, Jasper the firefighting dragon was at the fire station. Jasper wasn't like the other dragons in Huff and Puff Valley. Jasper was the only water-breathing dragon and was part of the fire brigade. Whenever there was a fire, Jasper would spray water over it and put out the fire. On this quiet day, Jasper was busy cleaning the fire engine. He took a great big breath, and as he flew over the fire engine, he covered it with water. He sprayed water on the ladder until it shimmered. He squirted the windscreen with water until it glimmered. He splashed water over the sides so that they sparkled, and he washed all the mud off the fire engine wheels. Jasper landed next to the gleaming fire engine and admired his work. "What a clean fire engine," said a voice next to him. Jasper looked down and saw the doctor. She had come to ask Jasper for help. One of the fire-breathing dragons, called Opal, had a cold and couldn't stop sneezing. Every time that she sneezed, Opal sneezed great big jets of fire. "She keeps setting things on fire," exclaimed the doctor. "Please, can you go and look after her before she burns everything in Huff and Puff Valley?" So Jasper set off to find Opal. As he was flying over the town, he heard a loud noise. "Ah! Ah! Achoo!" Jasper flew towards the sneeze. Soon Jasper was able to see Opal. He flew down and saw a little fire next to her. He took a breath and drenched the little fire with water. "Thank you, Jasper," sniffed Opal sadly. She looked down at the spot where the fire had been. "That was my lunch," she told Jasper, "but when I sneezed, I accidentally dropped it and burned it." Lying next to her on the ground, in a puddle of water, were some ears of corn on the cob. They were charred and burnt and dripping wet. Together they cleared up the burnt lunch, and Jasper decided to take Opal home. As they went along, Opal kept on sneezing great big fiery sneezes. Achoo! She accidentally set a bench on fire. Jasper quickly squirted water over it, saving the bench. Achoo! Opal scorched a patch of grass. Jasper covered the grass with water before the fire could spread. Achoo! This time the flames engulfed some railings. They glowed hot and red. Jasper sprayed them with water to cool them down. By the time they reached Opal's house, Jasper was glad that the doctor had asked him to look after Opal. She felt poorly and sad, and no one was able to visit her in case she sneezed on them. Opal got tucked up under her blanket while Jasper fetched her a bowl of ice cream to help soothe her fiery throat. The chief fire officer told Jasper to stay with Opal until she was feeling better. "We can't have her sneezing over everything in Huff and Puff Valley," he said. "Who knows what she'll burn down next?" Opal was very grateful to Jasper. She didn't like being on her own when she was sick. When Jasper wasn't putting out fires from Opal's sneezes, they chatted about all the things that they liked. When Jasper talked about flying over gardens and watering the flowers, Opal forgot that she had a runny nose. When Jasper described the time that he'd pretended to be a water fountain by standing in a pond and shooting water into the air, Opal laughed and didn't notice her scratchy throat. Soon, Opal started to feel better and stopped sneezing. "It looks like you're all better," the doctor told Opal. Opal smiled at Jasper. "Thank you for looking after me," she said. Jasper opened his mouth to say, "You're welcome," but a great big sneeze flew out of his mouth instead. Achoo! A huge wave of water shot out of his mouth. Splash! "Oh dear," cried the doctor. "Jasper, it looks like you've caught Opal's cold. You'd better go home to bed at once." Jasper started to fly home, feeling very sorry for himself. Then he realized that Opal was flying next to him. "I'm going to light a nice fire to keep you warm," she told him. "You'll need some company while you're ill. That's what friends are for." The end. So that was the second book in the Jasper Dragon series, Jasper the Dragon and the Fiery Sneeze, written by me, Val Blackburn, and illustrated by Sarah Lee Wills. I hope you enjoyed that story.